Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! From the very first moment I saw Freya Skye cry when she unboxed her Nova doll from the Zombies franchise for the first time ever, I had such an appreciation for how she felt in that moment because she knew that she was going to leave a legacy behind. And I wanted to support that in every video that I would go on to upload for fans of Freya, who I know are watching this video out there somewhere in this really big universe. And I want you guys to know that I will forever have your back. I will forever support you guys as Freya Skye fans, because the more love and support that we can show for Freya and we can give to her, the further she's going to go. She's really going to go the distance. She's really going to be something special, and I don't think there's anyone who ever comes close to a comparison to be made about the success Freya has seen early on in her career. She's only just 16 years old, and she's gone on to get millions of subscribers on YouTube. She's gone on to get millions of views for her music, and people really understand and really get Freya. No matter what the age demographic is we're talking about, no matter how young they are, they really get Freya, and they really understand Freya's music, because she's putting powerful lyrics to music, which is something to really think about when you listen to Freya Skye's music every single time you have the chance to. I know there are critics that really don't ever want to choose to give Freya Skye much of the benefit of the doubt, but I really saw something special in Freya from the very first moment I ever laid eyes on her and had a chance to review some of her work. Because when it came to reviewing her work, when you put your art out there to let people know how you feel about Descendants of Zombies, it becomes their art. It no longer belongs to you. So you've really got to showcase these franchises for how you really feel. You've really got to let people know how you feel about Freya. You've really got to let people know how you feel about Kylie. And you've got to forever remain dedicated to uploading video, because consistency is the key when it comes to uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies. Because every single night there is somebody trying to find that one cool Freya Skye video or that one cool Kylie Control video that could potentially touch their hearts. And that's all I've ever wanted to do, while offering you inspiration to continue on to follow your passions, to continue on believing in Freya Skye, to continue on buying concert tickets and Freya Skye merch off Freya Skye shop off FreyaSkye.com, which is happening every single time you have the chance. It's really cool to see what's happening for Freya, and I really like this rumor about how she's being suggested to play Rapunzel in Disney's upcoming live-action Tangled adaptation, because I think this will really open up more doors for Freya, and it will really allow her to broaden her horizons, because when you allow them to expand, I know I had this conversation about Ruby Rose Turner some time ago on my YouTube channel, and I remember being so supportive of Ruby being suggested as the live-action Rapunzel after what Mandy Moore did for that character, because Mandy Moore gave her so much life and showed so much heart and dedication in every song, in every lyric, in every script. She was just so phenomenal. I think that, you go all the way back to the Tangled animated TV series and what she did for that and how she brought it to life and just how much that role meant to her being a part of a Tangled franchise. It was really amazing. Seeing the premiere of Tangled in 2010 was an experience that I never ever forgot. I forever and always held a very special place in my heart for the Tangled characters. I remember being such a huge fan of Eugene and how crazy he was at times. I remember being such a huge fan of Rapunzel, having everything to do with her curiosity and her appreciation for life. I know she had a lot of mood swings, but how many of you guys felt as if you felt like Rapunzel when you saw these mood swings when she first got out of her tower? You know something? There's a legendary story that goes with the tale of Tangled. It basically is based off this girl that was kept from men by her father that was locked away in a tower, I think somewhere around the 16th century. And ever since Disney heard it, he wanted to bring it to life. He wanted to show it a greater appreciation, and he wanted to give it so much respect. And he really did it. And I think that Tangled was a princess that we had dreamed to really be brought to life by someone who was just as iconic. And I think when we think about Rapunzel, the obvious suggestions obviously come to mind. Dove Cameron, Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, Freya Skye, Ruby Rose Turner. And I think the more that we support that, the better Tangled is going to be as a live action. It's really going to come through. And I think that if you have a hope or a dream of seeing Freya don this role, I think it would be an incredible opportunity. I've seen a lot of people make graphics for this. I've made my own graphics that I've thrown up as thumbnails on my YouTube channel, which I hope you will find and you will have a greater appreciation for, because I know there have been names that have been totally off the Disney script who have even been suggested to play the live-action Rapunzel, such as Mechanic Race, who reportedly has been officially confirmed. I have no conversation at this point as to whether or not Mechanic Race has been officially confirmed as the live-action Rapunzel, but I will have more on it as it becomes available and the release of the live-action Tangled becomes more evident. I know that Moana is the next live-action from Disney, and Dwayne Johnson is playing his character in this one, and I think that that movie is going to be absolutely beautiful. I just want to put it out there that the Moana live action, they've done everything so perfectly with this one, and I think that if you ever wanted to take a chance on the upcoming live actions in 2026, this has got to be one of them. So I think to follow suit and to follow with tradition how Disney has really prided themselves on live actions over the years, this is one that you really can't afford to make any mistakes with. You never could afford to make any mistakes with Moana, and you still can't afford to make any mistakes with Tangled, regardless of who is going to play Rapunzel, because that distinction is an honor. I remember I'll take you back to when Ruby Rose Turner was suggesting that she wanted to play Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled, and how honored she would have felt to have been donning this character's role, because there's just something about Ruby's personality and Ruby's appreciation of life that fits perfectly with the Rapunzel character and what Rapunzel has represented to each and every one of our lives. How she's always wanted to make everybody around her happy. How she's always wanted to experience her mood swings in a very different way so that we would have appreciation for how she was feeling at any given moment. And I think everything will come full circle regardless of who plays Rapunzel, because they will have a greater appreciation for this role and a greater appreciation for life having been taken away from it. I promise you guys that whoever is casted as the live-action Rapunzel for the live-action Tangled, I will show respect to. I will give you the justification for this star, and I will definitely support whoever it is. I've got my favorites that I would love to suggest as the live-action Rapunzel. Freya, Skye, and Ruby Rose Turner are some of the few that I've suggested. But I think the conversation has revolved around the same 3 or 4 celebrities a little bit too much when it comes to the live-action Rapunzel. We've heard way too many conversations happening about Sabrina Carpenter. Even Taylor Swift was suggested at one point or another to play the live-action Rapunzel. And I just don't think they can come through. I think that if you're going to give Sabrina Carpenter a role, it should be in a musical like Alice in Wonderland, which also has been suggested for her because of how phenomenal Descendants is doing in this musical adaptation of Alice in Wonderland characters, and how Alice in Wonderland characters and characters from Cinderella have been introduced to us in such an emphatic way. Because we can't deny that we felt inspired by the characters from Descendants and even Zombies. And with how much of a supernatural appreciation we have for these characters, I know I have it, and I know that we have for fairy tale characters that have yet to be introduced from the franchises that Descendants Wicked Wonderland is going to go on to represent, like Princess and the Frog, Encanto, even Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland, who are still waiting on some characters like the Cherokee Cat to show up, or even the White Rabbit. How cool would it be to see a CGI'd White Rabbit? I'd be his voice. I would love for Disney to call me to give me the chance to be the voice of the live-action rabbit. I would love to do that, to bring this CGI'd character to life for you guys. The thing about me is I have such a greater appreciation for Descendants of Zombies, and I think this is why I've gained so much verity and so much respect from fans, because I've just had this greater appreciation for Descendants of Zombies, and I've tied in everyday stories that may be happening around me about Descendants of Zombies, because I think that allows you the opportunity to get to know me as a voice of Descendants of Zombies, and I really have that distinction. And because I've had that distinction and that honor of being your voice of Descendants of Zombies for so long, I've taken a great deal of pride and put a lot of dedication into every video that I've ever uploaded. So when it comes to talking about rumors of Freya Skye being suggested as a live-action Rapunzel, or even Sabrina Carpenter, I'm open to having these conversations. I'm open to believing in these chances more than I ever have. Because when you take a chance on somebody like Freya Skye and Ruby Rose Turner, only good things can come from it. I see the passion and the desire for Ruby to want to play Rapunzel. And preferably, I'm not going to lie to each and every one of you, preferably I would love for Ruby to don the character Rapunzel, because her hair is beautiful, her hair fits perfectly with the theme of Rapunzel. I would love to see her don the Rapunzel costume, how Disney would really put so much work ethic behind the detail, because I remember how much detail they put behind the Cinderella ball gown, and it was said that if you spread the ball gown out the length of a sidewalk, it would take you 45 minutes to walk it. So basically what that means is the fabric they use and the detail they put into the Cinderella live-action gown If you were to take that gown, there's a sidewalk outside my house, so if you were to take that gown and spread it the length of the sidewalk, it would take you 45 minutes to walk the length of the fabric. And I know there's a lot of people out there that probably don't know that. I'm probably the only guy crazy enough to know that because I had a greater appreciation for Cinderella. So then you wonder why this guy can have all these conversations with so many fans of Descendants of Zombies and take away from it a greater appreciation. It's because I remember watching Cinderella. I remember watching Alice in Wonderland. I remember reading the books. I wasn't very young when my mom used to read me the books because I couldn't read at the time. But I remember her telling these stories, and I remember being so captivated by all the characters, their individual stories, their explanations for being a part of Alice in Wonderland, being there in Wonderland and offering Alice explanations. And I just remember hearing the story for the first time ever and being absolutely captivated by it. And I was saying to myself, I hope one day I have the opportunity to show a greater appreciation for all these Disney fairy tales. I had no idea it was going to come in the form of me telling these stories to fans of Descendants of Zombies, but I'm very grateful that it did. Because each time that I tell this story, I tell it differently. I separate my content from everybody else's, hoping it's going to touch your heart, hoping it's going to give you a reason to believe in Descendants of Zombies more than ever before. And I got that opportunity because you guys gave me that opportunity. So I think that looking ahead to Zombies 5, Descendants 5, I think even though we don't know when it's coming out, it's being suggested sometime between now and July 2026, this one's going to drop. And when it does drop, I know it's going to receive a lot of criticism. But I will forever and always have the back of each and every single person who has ever believed in Descendants of Zombies, who's ever wanted to take a chance on Freya Skye to make something of it. I know a lot of you probably wanted tickets to the Stars Align concert tour for Freya Skye, which kicks off on February 6th. Tickets are sold out everywhere for this, and my heart goes out to everybody who couldn't get a ticket. But for those of you who do have tickets to the Freya Skye Stars Align tour, I want you to have fun. And I want you to outshine every critic that's going to be in that crowd, because from Portland to New York City, there is going to be someone in that crowd who has the sole purpose of wanting that distinction of reviewing the Freya Skye concert tour with criticism. And I wanted to take that away. I wanted to do something about that, because when you think about how appreciative Freya Skye was of every moment, from unboxing her Nova doll to being in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, which was her first movie, the appreciation that we got from Freya was truly unbelievable. And I think more people like this should be presented these chances in entertainment, because it never happens enough. Because when Freya got that opportunity to be on the next step, I remember watching her on there. I remember being particularly fond of her. I knew she had something special. I know a lot of agents thought she had something special, and they extended her opportunities. And once she was being extended opportunity after opportunity, no one can ever argue the fact that she didn't make the most of every opportunity she ever had. Because I go back to the Worlds Collide tour, how emotional these moments were she shared with Malachi, how emotional every moment was she got to spend with each and every one of you. And my greater appreciation came from the Q&As that Freya took herself on the opportunity to be a part of. Because Freya would sit down with you guys individually. She would give you the chance to get to know her better by answering your questions. And that's what made it so fun. And that's what made it so unforgettable for everybody. So then some idiot goes home on his YouTube channel and reviews the Worlds Collide tour in a way they should have never to begin with. I think you guys have deserved far better reviews of Descendants of Zombies for a very long time, and it's about time somebody came through with these stories for you and told them in the way that they were forever and always meant to be represented. And that is precisely why this YouTube channel sits in the #1 position for having captivated millions of people of Descendants of Zombies, if not even more. I know that I have a lot of crazy stuffies in the background there. I have Dumbo, I have Sonic, I have Stitch, I have a Mickey Mouse blanket, I have all these stuffies behind me. But I do it to showcase my passion. You know, one could just shoot a YouTube video with no background whatsoever, but what does that tell you about the YouTube creator? It really tells you nothing. I know there are a lot of people that have tried to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies, but they can just never come through. They can never seem to exceed everybody's expectation, because there are several YouTube creators who have promised you dedication to Descendants of Zombies that are never following through with. There are people who go 6 to 7 months without ever uploading a Descendants of Zombies video. Some of them you may have subscribed to. But I promise you that if you subscribe here to this YouTube channel, you will have a dedicated podcast that will give you updates on the futures that have everything to do with Descendants of Zombies and your favorite stars. Because I know there is somebody out there today watching this video who is a Freya Skye fan, who found this thumbnail, who's going to click on it because she's probably upset she never got a ticket to the Stars Align concert tour. There's probably somebody watching this video who is going. heading out to the Stars Align concert tour. And if you're somebody who's going out to it, I want you to have fun. I want you to take your photos. I want you to get your autographs from Freya. I want you to have the opportunity to meet her, because this is an opportunity that I would have loved to have had many years ago when Freya was first coming into the industry. I've been involved with the entertainment industry for forever, and I've had the honor of profiling a lot of concert events. I've had the honor of meeting a lot of incredible people, and these are some people that I would love to have the opportunity to work with, collaborate with. I would love the opportunity to give them more of a chance than ever before, because opportunities are supposed to be made the most of, and if you can make the most of an opportunity and come through every single time, then more power to you. You should have more reason to believe in yourself than perhaps ever before. If Kylie Control wants to drop 100 singles in a year, I will promote every single one of them for you. If Freya wants to do the same, then Freya can come along for the ride too. I have become one of the most revered Descendants of Zombies reviewers of all time because of how I could tell a story. Because it's all about how you tell that story, how you can give somebody a reason to believe in Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 more than they ever have before. And it gives me great honor and great distinction to be that guy to come through for you guys every single time. Because I know how difficult it is to find a commentary on Descendants of Zombies. I know how hard it is sometimes for people to even commentate their thoughts and record a video on Descendants of Zombies because they've never known how to begin with. But I've always loved this because I've had a greater appreciation for fairy tales all the time. I've had a greater appreciation for supernatural lore, and I love to tie it in because I can remember being there for the premiere of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the premiere of the Vampire Diaries and seeing how popular Twilight became. I was there for everything. I've seen over 200 adaptations of Dracula over the years. I played every Resident Evil horror survival video game that there is. Resident Evil 9 will drop on February 27th. I'm really excited about that as we celebrate 30 years of Resident Evil. If there's one guy that can tell you about all this crazy stuff, all this unbelievable things that have happened to me in my lifetime that I would love to have the opportunity to share with you, it's this guy. So if there's someone that you can trust in great, reliable content for Descendants of Zombies, I would love to be that guy for you guys every single time. Because it's one thing to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but you've really got to feel how the fans feel. You've really got to come to terms with appreciating your audience and how to appreciate your audience, because there's a way to appreciate your audience every single time that you ever go on to upload a video. And I've loved to have the opportunity to have these conversations. I look forward to having many more with every fan of Descendants of Zombies who are excited about concert tour dates, who are excited about Zombies 5 happening whenever it happens. I know it's being suggested as late as 2028. I know that feels like forever away, and that means that Jonathan Clarke is going to have to upload Descendants of Zombies videos for the rest of his life. But that's what makes uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies so fun. It's the anticipation, the predictions that can be made about Descendants of Zombies, and how much you believe in your own predictions and your own thoughts and your own dreams, because everybody out there has a dream they have the right to believe in. Everybody has the right to feel encouraged, and everybody has the right to pursue whatever dreams and goals they have, because you're that much closer to every dream that you have than you have ever realized. And that's what the character Rapunzel represented for me in Tangled. That's what the character Rapunzel represented for each and every one of you in Tangled and Tangled the series. And probably many of you have different reasons why you're fans of Rapunzel and who you would love to see play Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled. We have no official release date. Apparently production for this one has officially wrapped up. It has no confirmation on a release date or when this is going to happen. But, you know, if you want me to make some suggestions about Rapunzel, if you're looking for that this morning, I would have to suggest Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Skye, hands down. I know that Freya Skye is only too young and she's just really figuring out her place in the world, but that does not mean that she's not going to get there, because it has everything to do with your love and support. And I think playing Rapunzel is the perfect opportunity, this one chance that Freya Skye would make the most of, and also Ruby, because I would also go for Ruby playing Rapunzel, because Ruby's been so appreciative of wanting this role, wanting this chance, and if you really give it to Ruby, I think Ruby's going to run away with it and steal each and every one of our hearts. I think it's going to be a 5-star production. It's a live action Disney can never really afford to make any mistakes with. So because she can't afford to make any mistakes with it, I guess we should all believe in it, like we believed in Beauty and the Beast, because I remember how crazy everybody was about Beauty and the Beast when it first was released in 2017, I believe it was. And I remember how popular it was, how crazy everybody was to see it, and just how iconic some of these scenes were. And the portrayal of Emma Watson as one of the most lifelike Disney princesses of all time made it worth it every single time that you sat down to watch it. I even bought the live action Beauty and the Beast DVD. I was so appreciative of it. I was also appreciative of Cinderella live actions. I'm going to be just as appreciative of the Moana live action, which has been years in the making, and it's just so fun having these conversations with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies who have drawn inspiration from these franchises time and time again and will continue to draw inspiration from them for the foreseeable future, because you have every reason, and even more of a reason than perhaps ever before, to believe in these franchises and to take a chance on your hopes and dreams, because you're that much closer to your hopes and dreams and realizing your goals and your dreams than you perhaps ever realized, because Descendants of Zombies has helped us really find our place in the world. It's really allowed us to develop a passion and evolve through the years, because a lot can happen in 10 years, and certainly a lot did happen for these stars in 10 years because they achieved so much severity. They became iconic. They became heroes in many fans' eyes, and that doesn't deserve to be taken away from any fan. And I just wanted to be a part of that in every video that I've ever gone on to upload. I've archived over 700 plus videos, but Descendants of Zombies nearly put up over 100,000 views on this channel, and it has everything to do with your guys' love and support. So seriously, guys, thank you so much from my heart to yours for allowing me to have represented you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies and just to be here. And thank you so much for being you, because there's only one you, and we will see it through together, because we still have a long way to go with Descendants of Zombies, because this story is far from over. Thank you so much for having watched this video.